and welcome back to my channel. So there are some nights where I just have a really hard time falling asleep, and tonight is definitely one of those nights. Right now it is currently 2:57 a.m. and I decided that I'm gonna go ahead and film my DIY thrift video. I went to my local thrift store with the intention of finding stuff for a different video, but didn't find what I needed, so I ended up grabbing a few items that I thought would be an easy fix. These are all clothes with the exception of a purse, as you can already tell in the thumbnail. Alright, so we are starting off with this corset that I found at a Goodwill, and my friend also found a matching silk pants that looks just alike color-wise, and it is Victoria's Secret. See it? So it is a size small. The waistband has been extremely stretched out, so it won't stand up without me holding on to it. As for the corset, the waistband sits too low and I like the bustier look better, so I'm gonna bring it up higher. And what I'm gonna do is make a cut right here on the very bottom. That way I can pull the boning out. Because if I don't, then I won't be able to cut straight across. It's gonna take a little bit, but here we go. There it comes out a little bit. Ta-da! That's it. And you're just going to continue doing it for the rest of them. Now that I am done taking out all the boning, it's going to be very easy to just go ahead and cut all the way down as close as possible to the seam line. Alright, so whenever I am wearing a corset or a crop top, I like it to hit right here because I have a short torso. So I'm gonna pin it around this area and then I'll cut the excess off. Alright, and then once you're done, you're just gonna sew straight across here. And so for the pants, all I'm going to do is seam rip as much as I can here and put a new band in to make it tighter. I got hot, so I had to change my shirt. Anyways, I've been seam ripping and I only got this much done so far, and I still have this much more to go. So it's gonna take a while. I'm just gonna use the same waistband that was already on the pants, just so that I don't have to buy a new one. What I do is measure, kind of stretch it out and measure it on my waist, how high I usually like to wear it. Alright, so what I'm going to do is fold this down about 1.5 inches. So all the way through, leaving maybe about this much of a gap. That way I can use a safety pin to thread this through. Whenever you are sewing in a waistband, make sure that you use the zigzag stitch. That way it doesn't break whenever you pull on it. And once you are done threading it through, you can take this back out and fold it over into like a square rectangle shape and sew a square around it and then an X. This next item, I found this brown jacket. It's still actually really new and it feels nice. Doesn't have a bad smell to it either like the other jacket I bought. But this one is $8.49 and I found it at a different Goodwill like a few miles down the road. Not like the button that's currently on them. Let's see if I can get it show a little bit better. Okay, and what I'm going to be doing is, where's my seam ripper? Oh, here it is. So I'm going to be taking my seam ripper and just taking out the threads, and then I'm going to be putting on these new buttons that I found at Joann's. So here we go. It looks like on the back side there are some buttons here also, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to kind of sew over it. That's just too much to take off. I don't really need to. So whenever you are sewing on buttons, you want to make sure you're using a specific type of thread, not the all-purpose one because they're just not sturdy enough. And right here I have the Dual Duty Plus thread. That's how it looks like. You guys will just have to ignore my dirty nails because I just got back from the hair salon, and yeah, no matter what I do, even though I'm wearing gloves, they still get stained. And now I'm just going to thread it through. Jacket does come with a belt strap on each of the back side, but because there's no belt with it, I'm gonna go ahead and just seam rip it out. That way it doesn't look like something's missing, and it'll just create more of a even look to it. For the next item, I have this green pants. I bought it like a month and a half ago, so I don't quite remember how much it cost, but it's probably around $3 or $4. And I wanted to fix up the bottom because it's just a little bit too long, and I wanted it to mimic the stretch that it has on the side. I like it to be right at my ankle, so I went ahead and tried it on already, and I'm gonna be cutting off about this much. And I'm gonna be sewing it across just like the other one, and then I'll leave a gap in between to pull this through to make it stretch. Last item that I found is this straw bag at the Goodwill outlet. This is how it looks like. So they do it by weight instead of pricing them individually, and it's $1.49 per weighted item. I did get like 4 items, and I only paid $4.70. So, you know, for this purse, it's probably like $1 or less, and that's a really good deal. I don't like the net that was put around it, so I'm gonna take that out. And I don't like this part either. I don't know what these are called, but yeah, it's kind of tacky. And I'm gonna be changing up the handle here also. Inside it is really dirty, so I'm gonna be cutting that out and putting in a new liner also. Of the liner there is this magnetic snap closure, and I'm going to be keeping it just to add a little bit of accent piece to it. What I did was I just used some pliers, and so with the pliers you're just going to pull them inward. And there we go, you can just easily pop it off. I'm done taking everything apart. I'm gonna grab some Clorox wipe and just wipe down everything to make sure it's clean, including these. Alright, so now that I'm done wiping down the bag, I'm gonna set it aside for about 5 minutes just to let it dry, and while I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the inside. I bought this lining from Joann's, and it's already pre-cut, and it's about like $5. So you wanna make sure that the lining is gonna be big enough to fit the inside. Luckily for me, it was actually about perfect size. I'm just gonna have to take a little bit more off on the sides, because it's a little bit long horizontally. But before you do that, you want to make sure that you iron it just to get rid of any creases that's on it. Alright, now that I have ironed it out, I'm gonna grab the bag and place it on top, and then just kind of guesstimate how much you want to cut off. From the lining inside the purse, I have 2 extra pieces left over, and I'm going to try to make use of it. So what I'm doing is I'm going to lay them facing inside out. Now that I am done cutting it, making it even, I'm going to be sewing along the outer edge, leaving a little gap here. That way I can flip it inside out. I'm gonna go ahead and pin the lining on the inside like so, just on 4 sides. And then instead of sewing it, I'm just gonna hot glue it. So I'm gonna hot glue all the way around and just kind of press it in there. The side was actually a little big, so I just folded it in and added more hot glue to hide it. I love using the hot glue gun. It's way easier and gets the job done faster. that's all I have for today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that this video will inspire you to upcycle items that doesn't quite look right in your eyes or doesn't fit right on your body, and adjust it and make it your own. It doesn't necessarily have to be items that you find at Goodwill. It can just be stuff laying around your house. It'll be a good way to recycle and reuse them versus just tossing them out, and that will save you some money also. So I will see you guys next time. As always, thanks so much for watching. Bye.